What's up, everybody? My name is Dan, aka Biggie Blaines, and the most common question I get in this game is how do you make money? So many new players in this game just struggle to make rubles. And the reality is, it's not very hard. The easiest way to make rubles is surviving, right? Looting and surviving. So I want to do one thing today. The most common map we're going to go over, customs. I would say a large part of the first map that people learn, I would say, is customs. Because it's got your beginning quests. You got to find the pocket watch. You got to start going to dorms. It's a great starting map. I would recommend scavving this map all the time. Every time your scav timer is up, hit customs. Do a daytime raid and just go in there and just learn the map. Who cares if you die? You don't lose any gear, so it's not a big deal. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go into an offline raid on customs, and I'm just going to show you, based on a couple different spawns, how to make money. And the cool thing is, you don't have to be super good at the game to make money. You don't have to be the best aim, the best shooter. You just got to have a couple predetermined routes and areas to loot. But at the same time, you have to, you still have to look out for people. You're not invincible. Just because I show you a route doesn't mean you're guaranteed to make money. You can still get killed. There's 10 to 12 people that are running around the map that could come charge you at any time. But, I can give you some pointers. I can show you where to go. The only thing you need to do this is a bag, some sort of weapon. You don't need all this, exfils and art. You don't need the high tier loot gear to do this. Biggest bag you can afford. Maybe, start off with a scav backpack. That's fine. Doesn't matter. You don't have to have the raid bag. The best way to get a raid bag, once you get your traders unlocked, you can get 2 military cables, and you can do a barter with proper. Right here, I do this trade all the time. 2 military cables, which is like 60, 70k, and you get the biggest bag in the game. 48 slots. Huge. Okay, so let me show you. Here, let me take these out. We're gonna load into a raid on customs, and then based on whatever spawn we get, I'm gonna show you what I would do to make the most money in that raid. The only thing you're really gonna need is, I would recommend, you don't have to have this, I would recommend a factory key, because this will allow you to get out at ZBO13, which is the middle fortress in the new construction area. This will allow you to get out of the map. So without further ado, let's get into customs, and let me show you. Okay, we just spawned into customs. This is a fresh spawn, and we spawned. This is the best dorm spawn from the big, I call this Big Red, the big building. There's a huge big red building that there's a few quests and there's a safe in. We have the best spawn closest to dorms, which is, one of the higher contested areas. At the very beginning, I wouldn't recommend rushing dorms and trying to hit all the safes and the marked room, only because it's one of the more contested areas. Everyone's trying to hit that marked room. If you're a little bit scared of the PvP, I think it's completely okay to just not do that right away. But if you get this spawn, the things you got to worry about is there's spawns over here. There's also going to be a spawn on the other side of the fence over here. But what I would do is, first things first, is just sprint across this bridge. Not the lower part, but just across here. And then keep an eye on people that spawn over here and over here somewhere. Watch for them to cross this bridge as you're going across. Do like a free look. Hold your middle mouse and look right. And just watch for people to cross this bridge. If you see nobody cross, you're going to be in a pretty good spot. If you see no one cross, what you could do is you can go down here, and you can take it any way you want. You can go through this hole right here if you want to do it a little bit safer. Now there's 2 ground caches over here. So if you got that spawn, for instance, it's easier to come to these ground caches. You don't have to hit every loot spot every raid. If you feel like it's unsafe to hit these caches, so there's a set of pipes right here. There's a land bridge here. There's the main bridge we just crossed. Then there's a little metal land bridge right there. And then there's that land bridge that we watched as we crossed. So this first set of pipes closest to the bridge, right here, this big main bridge that we crossed, there's a cache in this bush. Right there, see it? It's a little wooden cache. We can loot this if we'd like, right? We can loot that. Right. And the cool thing about caches is anything spawns in them. You can get helmets, you can get armors, you can get any loot, really. And the thing is, the most valuable thing in this game is found in raid loot. So if I kill this guy that's got a Mosin or a pistol running across, I kill him, it's not worth anything. It's only worth what the Mosin's worth, and the Mosin's not worth anything. I can vendor that for like 20k or use it. So like realistically, the PvP is not where the money is. You want the loot on the map. So our goal, if we're trying to make money, is not to die to another player and just get as much loot as we can. The reason we're killing is to keep people away from our loot and to make sure they don't kill us. So now we went to that first set of pipes in that bush right there, was where we just were. And you go to the next set of pipes. There's a little, right here, another cache. You can open these things up. More loot you can grab. Let's just see what's inside of one of them. We can get a visor, which isn't actually worth very much. M61s, these vendor for, or sell on the flea market for current price in January of 2021 is about 2,000 around. So right there, you got, 24K. And you can grab this. You can grab everything. At the beginning, grab everything. There's no reason not to grab it. If you have space, pick it up. There's no reason not to. It's worth something, whether it's worth 2,000 rubles or, 10,000 or 100,000 rubles. Just grab it. So let's just say no one's crossed yet, and we were able to hit both of these caches. So let's continue to go up this way. You're going to, a lot of times, there's going to be scavs over here. So you got to be careful. These guys are aimbots. They're cheaters. They're hackers. Scavs are crazy. There's a duffel bag you could hit right here if you got the time. There's also a jacket in the little shack by the wall if you want to hit that jacket if you happen to run by it. So there's a little shack right, where is it at? It's right over past this bush. Right here. This little shack's got a jacket in it. You can hit that if you'd like, if you happen to be running by that. The ultimate thing is just knowing where things spawn and what to loot and where stuff is. There's probably so many games you've went into on customs and you've run right by a cache that you never knew existed. How much loot do you think you might have lost out on by not hitting that thing 100 times that you've ran by it? So there's the hole in the wall right here, and this kind of leads you to new construction. But right here, there's a body. Hit this body. It's got an unknown key in it 100% of the time, but then it also will have random loot as well. So I always recommend checking it really quick. That unknown key is used in a later quest. So once you get through this hole in the wall, a lot of people call this crack house, or like it's like a medical building, spawns lots of medical. And then at the top inside, there is intel folders, and then there's a bunch of loot throughout this building. This building's amazing to loot. It's got intel folders. It's got all the medical supplies. If I scav into a raid, I go to this building almost every time because I can get saluas, I can get morphines, I can get hemostats, things to stop blood loss, and things for painkillers. It's fantastic. There's like a whole, there's tons of bodies. There's 2 different bodies you can loot in there, which can spawn armors, helmets, contacts, everything. Anything that you could literally fill a bag just off of this building. I highly recommend hitting that building, especially if it's not contested. And you'd be surprised how often it's not contested. There's a duffel bag you can hit right here, right? And what I do as I'm running around, I hit double tap O to see what extracts are open. And if you see there's ZBO13, if that turns green, that means somebody turned power on, which is what we're going to use our factory key for. So sometimes, but that's also a red flag to me. If somebody turns power on, that might mean that this is ZBO13 that I'm looking at. If someone turns power on, that means someone might be trying to hit that extract or going to that building to loot, then maybe extract later. So it's just something to think about, but that also means we can extract there. So another little stash that I don't think a lot of people know about, I see people run by it all the time. In this tire, right here, another stash. And then there's also a toolbox up there, and then miscellaneous loot that spawns down here. Easy loot to grab. You can get in and out really fast. Another loot spot that I think a lot of people are scared to loot, but it's actually more safe than you think because you have this truck blocking you, is you can loot this right here. You can loot it from the front or the back. If you get right behind it, you can loot it, but then you can also just loot it from the front. And it's pretty safe if you think about it. Look at, you're pretty blocked. It's got tech. It's a tech crate. Tech crates are amazing because all the tech stuff that people have to buy, like light bulbs and stuff for their hideout, all that stuff, normally has a lot better shit in it than that though. Then you got, like I said, this is the crack house that I called. And this has all that good loot in there. We're not going to go in there and loot that. You can kind of discover that on your own. And then we can move towards... This is just one loot route. Of course, we're not even going towards dorms right now. I try to stay away from that area. Unless... Because there's a lot of bushes, basically. Unless you're going to dorms, I don't typically just roam over there. Or unless I'm just looking for fights, which is not what we're covering in this video. We're covering how to make money. So, use objects to cover yourself as you go towards here. And then, of course, as you get in these buildings, you got to clear for people. You're going to have to use your sound in some sense of game. I like to go in this room right away. I like to stop every once in a while and just listen. You don't have to sprint like what I'm doing. I'm just sprinting because we're trying to get through, to show you this without taking 30 minutes to do it. So once you get in this building, there's a couple main areas you want to hit. that are, I would say, important. I like to hit this room. I like to always check up here because people can go up here. I've killed people multiple times just camping up here with a pistol, because what they do is they sit up there, they wait for you to open a crate like this, and you're standing still. They pop you in the side of the head. Whether you want to use that strategy or not, that's completely up to you. But just know that if you do that on me, you're getting headshotted as I come in that door because I clear it. So you got to clear that shit. You got 2 jackets. You got medical crate here. You got weapons crates here that will spawn attachments, weapon attachments. I found a slick right here in this crate. Let's see what's in there. Maybe we'll get a slick. So you never know what you can get. Pick it all up though, right? And then you got medical stuff that spawns on these. You can get morphine, sluas, CMS kits, stuff like that. Same within here. You get food. See that? You get a lot of tech stuff on these LCDs, Helix. You got the 2 jackets, like I said. There's also a crate in the back of that truck if you're feeling courageous. And then you got inside of here, you got food that spawns like on all these little barrels. You got like food and sugar and stuff will spawn on these. And you'll get ammo spawns over on top of that. And then you got like vodka that'll spawn in here. And you got lots of food, sugar. There's a duffel bag here, a crate here. And then you got lots of food and drinks that spawn up here. And then you got like rare loot that can spawn here. Gold chains. Vases, stuff like that. Ammo, BS ammo, great. $1,000 around right there. Boom. Of course, not that valuable, but you never know. Another spot I would recommend while you're in this building, the only really other spot you need to hit would be go upstairs. And at the same time, while you're doing this, you got to listen for people. Sometimes you can do this whole loot route and never see a person. It's great. Make 1,000,000 rubles just like that. Easy. And you don't have to bring an expensive kit. It's just an investment. Look at it as an investment. Well, my kit cost me 200K, let's say. And if I can get out 1 in 5 times alive, and I can get $1 million on that time I get out alive, I paid for that kit. But if you can get out 2 times, you've crushed it, right? Sometimes you're going to make less, sometimes you're going to make more. You can't really control what's on the map. You can't control if you find sugar everywhere or whatever. This is a tech crate. I recommend hitting this one, and I recommend hitting that toolbox. And there's also food and medical crate, food there, and medical here. And then there's ammo spawns on the ground. Ammo spawns in that corner. So like if you're looking for BT ammo or BP ammo for your, or BS ammo for your 5.45, and you have time, might as well hit it, right? Little tricky way I like to get down here. If I need to get down fast, you can actually just drop and then hold towards the wall right there, and you can fall down without taking almost no damage. Or of course you can just take the stairs or the ramps. So after you loot this, if ZBO13 is open, right? If ZBO13 is open, we came from over here, by the way. So just to give you perspective of where we are, if you're confused, this was that crack house. You come in here, you hook a right, you hook another right, you go down these stairs. You go down these stairs. There's a little gate right here. You can unlock this with your factory exit key. Typically, that light will be turned on unless somebody shot it out. If that light's on, it means you can extract, and also it'll be green in your top right on ZBO13, but power's not on because nobody turned power on. So once you're done there, let's assume power's not on. How the hell do we get out of here? Well, dang, I still have tons of room in my bag. Well, what you can do, obviously, as you run out here, look for people. There's a couple, so let's assume we're going to go look at old gas station because that has an extract. That's our next closest extraction point. Let's assume our bag's decently full and we're going to try to get out there. There's also loot you can get over here. There's next to this train to the right, there's a platform. You can kind of see it right here. There's another tech crate there. There's also a tech crate right over here. That's a tech crate. You can loot that pretty safe, actually. I know it's in the open and it seems crazy. You could just clear that window if you have a scope, or just do that. Kind of look down, and you can loot this tech crate. Then you get whatever's in there. But then there's also a tech crate along a platform right here. There's a tech crate right there. And then also up in the construction area, there's some stairs right here where I'm looking, and that goes up to another tech crate. So if you're going to go over there and you just need more loot, you can go do that. But for this video, we're not going to go over there right now. We're going to go this way. There's more caches we can hit. There's also underneath that tech crate, there's another cache that you can also hit. Which, when I say cache, that's those things in the ground. So over here, there's another cache that a lot of people don't really ever hit. It's in this bush or it's right here next to this tree. You see this tree right here? So look for that sign. If you go past that sign, you typically are going to get hurt because there's map snipers. I think it's past that sign. So right here, Another ground cache. So just look at this sign, right, as you're coming this way. And then that big tall tree. It's in front of that, right? You can actually loot that body without getting killed. It's a little, you know, obviously you're in the open. It's kind of risky. I don't typically loot it. Inside of this bush. So there's this sign right here. First bush right here next to a tree. There's also a ground cache here. Right there, boom. And then you can go towards gas station. And then if the gas is, if there's green smoke coming out of the gas station, that means we can then go inside gas station and get out. So there's also, once you go through this fence, this is called the old gas station. There'd be smoke coming out of there. That would mean we could leave. Unfortunately, the smoke's not up, but there is a spawn right here. This could spawn anything from sights. As you can see, there's a sight here, to masks, to helmets, to armors, to bags, to a red key card. This is a spawn you always want to check. There's also a medical bag right there. Always check that. But in this corner, there's also a cache you can hit. I always hit it. I hit it almost every time I go by it. But also inside of gas station, there is another rare spawn that can spawn anything in the game. Exfil helmets, you name it. It spawn right here on this desk. Food. And then if you're going to extract gas station, say the smoke goes up, you just go through that gate, take a left, and you're out. But it's not up, so we got to keep going. So when I said ZBO13, when I said something about power being turned on, what I'm referring to is inside of this building. If you go in here, there's a power button. I'm going to show you where it is. Because here's the thing. If you spawn on the other side of the map, what I like to do as I run through here is I like to turn the power on. You just click this, boom, power on. Now you can see ZBO13 is lit. Now we can extract there. A lot of times people will turn that on for you though. But what I like to do is if I spawn over on this side of the map, the opposite side, as I'm going through here, I like to run through and turn power on. So that way, if I do happen to get a full bag of loot, I can always use that as an extract at any point. I'm not going to go through all these buildings, but there is loot in crates and stuff throughout all these buildings. But there's also one important spot I would recommend checking is this back shelf. It can spawn anything rare, like from defuel to wallets with a red key card. I've seen people get those, to just players and random and shit. So if you look at this, always check this. There's a jacket also right there. So I'm going to go out where I came in so we don't get confused where we are. Alright, this is the door we came in. It was the power building that we turned on power. And now our next closest extract is, without going back to ZBO13 where we extracted, is this way. Right there's another cache you can hit. So if the light is turned on right here, there's also a light right here. If that is on, that means we can extract here. This is ZB, I believe it's ZB012. So if that light's on, that means we can extract here. We go inside of here, take a left, and there's two things you can loot in the bottom, and then we leave. But let's pretend light's not on, which, you know, it's not on. So I'm going to show you where we go next. You could either turn power on and go back to ZBO13 if you feel comfortable, or, and let's say you don't have enough loot. But most likely, 99.99% of the time, you're gonna be full. You're gonna be, how the hell do I get out of this raid with all this loot without dying? You're gonna want to take the safest route, which honestly, going this way is not that unsafe. So without showing a fresh video into the fresh spawn, if you spawn over on this side of the map by these buildings, you're gonna typically spawn with like one other team or one other player. Obviously be careful of that person, but go inside this building right here. This building's amazing. I'm not gonna go through all the loot, but a graphics card can spawn up here. You can get tons of loot just in this building alone. I would recommend, there's a mannequin upstairs that can have a Rolex on their wrist. I can show you that really quick. So if you go up here, there's two jackets you can hit. There's all this stuff you can grab. There's tons of spawns inside of here, from just regular pliers to a tech or a weapons crate and attachments and all that. But inside of this room, there's a mannequin. It can have a Rolex on its wrist, which in today's market's worth 300,000 rubles alone. So I would recommend at least checking. Typically, if you're towards the end of the raid and you walk up here and you see these doors open, most people don't shut the doors. If they're open, I wouldn't bother, but if they're not open, it doesn't hurt to walk in here and just check the ground. There can be GPU spawns. I believe Tetris can spawn here, and then check the 2 computers. You got a bag, you got jackets, you got another bag here, you got a jacket here, you got toolboxes here, toolbox, medical bag. Stuff can spawn inside of there and on all these shelves. So I'd recommend checking all that. And then just got to be careful, because if you go in here, there's no exit. Your only exit is back down, and it can be dangerous. People could camp you, because how do you get down here, right? If someone's sitting underneath here, you're in trouble. So don't spend too much time in there. And it's very loud going up those stairs. So if you got some guy standing out here creeping along and he hears you run up those stairs, if that guy's got any brain, he knows you're stuck up there. He's gonna do like this, right? Vertical audio is pretty bad in this game. He probably 99. I don't think once you're up in this second level up here, this guy could walk like this and you can't even hear him. I guarantee it. So then he can just sit like this and just wait for you. So you gotta be careful when you're hitting this building. Just be aware that it is higher risk, but higher reward. There is a GPU spawn up there. If you want to just quickly, what you could do is just go up those stairs, check GPU, and leave. That's nothing wrong with doing that. It's assuming your bag's already full. You just want to see if you can snag an 800K GPU really fast, because that's what they're worth at today's market. So if you go this way, so there's also a spawn right here. Literally a spawn right here, right in this area. If you spawn here, I recommend, there's a cache right here. Hit that, and then inside this building, there's tech crate right there. Lots of tech spawns underneath. And then there's a toolbox right there. There's a toolbox above us. 2 computers above us. There's a grenade case right. Where's that at? It's right here. Grenade case, and then miscellaneous spawns here. Toolbox up here. Jackets up here. Weapons crate up here. Computers and stuff that spawns on the ground. Huge building. Tons of stuff here. Highly recommend hitting it. And then we're going to go towards our extract, which is ZB011, I believe. There's also a cache in the ground right next to that tree. It's got like wood covering it. Easy cache to hit. And then there's also one in this corner. So if you just want to hit some caches, so if you go in this bush, this first bush right here, that's our extract right there. But in this bush, just kind of walk in here and look around. It's kind of, there it is, boom. Right there. And then you hit the extract and you're done. Get out here. I would say successful raid. You get out, you got full bag of stuff. Right? Now here's the thing. That's how you make money. I didn't have to kill anybody. The only reason you really need to kill is because you don't want them to kill you, right? Because taking their stuff, the most valuable thing you're going to get off of a person is going to be what they looted. So if you say they spawned factory side where I just extracted, and you spawned at big red side, and you guys both looted towards each other, right? You guys are both walking piñatas, right? So you want to be able to make sure you kill them instead of them killing you. So that's customs loot run right there. Easy way to make money. You could do it at night if you wanted to avoid. You could go with just a pistol. Your kit could cost 50K. It doesn't have to be a 200K or even 500K kit. It's very easy to do. I stream this game almost 7 days a week, playing this game from Tarkov. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to stop into the stream. My name is Biggie Blaines. My real name is Dan. And you're welcome anytime. It's twitch.tv/Biggie Blaines. Come check the stream out. I'd be more than happy to help you out. I hope you have a dope ass day. Take care, guys. I hope that helped you. See ya.